Hi boys and girls, it is Homeroom with Mrs. Hooker and it is day 10. We are just going to do a short lesson today. Mrs. Hooker is not feeling super well, so we're gonna just talk about science today. And in science, we have been talking about plants and we will continue to be talking about plants today as well. So really quick, let's go over what today is. So it is the month of March. The day is Monday. The date is the 30th, and if we were to make 30 into money, it would be 3 dimes, and that would equal 30 cents. And the year is 2020. Alrighty, and for the time, let me get my clock. We're just gonna go ahead and say 5 o'clock for now. And it is p.m. So since I said the 5 first, the hour hand needs to go to the 5. And the minute hand goes to the 12. And it's 5 o'clock. Hi, Carmen. So it is 5 o'clock p.m. Remember, the hour hand is the small hand, the minute hand is the big hand. And today for our map, why don't we work on the direction of north? So let's see, what is north of Kansas? So here's Kansas. Remember, north is up, so north of Kansas would be Nebraska. Remember, our cardinal directions are north, east, south, and west. Never eat sour worms. That's how you can remember it. Our story prompt for today is, Robin was about to say, "King me," when suddenly, and king me is a term in checkers. So Robin was about to say "king me" when suddenly what? Don't forget to write that in your writing journal. Mrs. Hooker has prizes that I got, different prizes. I have pencils and erasers, and I have some spinners and different things that I'm sending out to, I think there was 5 kids that did their homework and sent me pictures. So those 5 kids will get envelopes in the mail from Mrs. Hooker and a homework certificate. So really quick, let's go feed Walter. Okay. And there he is. Buddy, you got food over here. I can tell he's missing you kids. He gets so excited in the classroom when he's at school. He swims around like crazy, but since he's been at my house, he just kind of sits in the corner. He's kind of sad. He misses you guys. All right. So like I said, we're just going to do a science lesson today. Mrs. Hooker isn't feeling that great. So for our science lesson today, we are going to be talking about the parts of a plant, which we discussed a little bit the other day. But Mrs. Hooker wanted to show you some actual examples. So you're going to have to kind of bear with me because it's me and my phone camera. So I'm going to try to kind of hold it up so you guys can see everything you need to see. But we're going to talk about some examples of parts of a plant with this flower. And then we're going to talk about parts of a plant that we can eat. We can actually eat all types of a flower or a plant. And I'm going to show you examples of that. So before we do that, I wanted to really quick show you the sprouts that we've been growing. So these are lentil sprouts. And let's open it up so you guys can see them a little bit better. And I'm sure you guys have been watching yours at home. But here is one of our lentil sprouts, and look how big it is. It has really sprouted. Isn't that awesome? And Mrs. Hooker had told you that I had already done this before the lessons. I had, a couple weeks ago, started some sprouts. And these are my sprouts. They are now full plants, and they have gotten so big. So these were my sprouts, and you can see Some of them look a little bit shorter, like right here. That's because I actually cut them off and I put them on sandwiches and salads, so they're really yummy. So when your sprouts grow a little bit bigger, they need to be a little bit bigger than this. They need to start getting a stem, and then you can plant them. You'll plant them root down. So the root is the part that is white, and the stem will be coming out of the green part. Let me show you one of these sprouts that's a little bit easier to see that example. This one. So you can see this is green, and it's a little leaf starting to come out of the top, and then down here this would be the root. And then here is the lentil seed that we have sprouted. So remember guys, how you sprout these is you put a cloth on top, this is a cheesecloth, of a jar, and you just want to keep these sprouts moist. You don't want standing water in there, you just want to keep the sprouts moist. And then I keep them on top of the fridge because they also have to be warm. It is getting warmer outside now that you could put them in the window. You just don't want to put them in the window if it's too cold because they need that heat to sprout. So, okay, now we're going to go ahead and talk about what I was discussing. We're going to talk about the parts of a flower. So I have a picture that goes along with this. So this is my flower, and these are over here, these are the different parts. So the first one is the leaves, flowers, roots, and stem. So when looking at this flower, where would we find the leaves? So the leaves are this part right here, and the leaves live on the stem. So this that holds the flower up is the stem, and these are the leaves. And then because this is a flower that I got from Hy-Vee, they already cut off the roots. So you can't see the roots here, but the roots would be at the bottom of the flower, and the roots are what hold the flower into the ground so it can soak up moisture and nutrients from the soil. And then, so we talked about the leaves, the stem, and we just talked about the roots, which are at the bottom. So the last part to talk about is the flower. So this is the flower. It's normally the pretty part of a plant. It's the colorful part, and the reason it's colorful is actually to attract bees, to help pollinate these. And that's not something we have to cover in second grade, pollination, but it is kind of a cool topic. Bees actually, their little feet sit on these flowers. They soak up nectar with their mouth, and their feet then get the little pollination granules on their feet, and then they fly to the next flower, and when they fly to flower, the pollen transfers, and it helps to pollinate the seeds, pollinate the flowers, which then helps to form seeds, which then helps flowers to grow more flowers. So that's kind of a cool thing. If you didn't know, it's an extra tidbit for you. You don't have to know that in second grade, but now you do. So anyways, flower, leaves, stem, and roots. And with the weather getting nicer, it's really good for our health to be going outside and getting sunshine. So Mrs. Hooker would encourage you to go outside and see if you can find some flowers. I know that I saw some tulips starting to pop up out of the ground. So just go outside and see what you can find. See if you can find some flowers, and I'd like you to identify the parts of the flower or the plant that we've discussed. So the leaves, the stem, the roots, and the flower. Okay, so now this is the fun part that I was really excited to teach you guys about, were the parts of the plant that you can eat. Some people might not realize that we eat all parts of the plant, but we do. We eat seeds, we eat flowers, we eat stems, we eat leaves, and we eat roots. We might not eat a flower like this, but we do eat flowers. And so Mrs. Hooker has a picture here, and I'm going to move the camera so you guys can see it, and we're going to talk about the different parts that we eat. Okay, so here's my picture. So we're going to first talk about flowers that we eat. So flowers that we eat are broccoli. Broccoli is a flower that we eat. So broccoli is the flower part of the plant. This would be the stem, and then this part up here is the flower. Same with cauliflower. Cauliflower is also a flower that we eat. Seeds. Some seeds that we eat would be peas, corn, kidney beans, lima beans, and lentils. So lentils, these guys right here, we eat these, and those are a type of seed. Another one that we eat are leaves, and here are some of the leaves that we eat. These are spinach leaves, and we eat spinach leaves in our salad and spinach artichoke dip, so we eat leaves as well. The next one is a stem. So a stem that we eat would be celery. Also, asparagus would be a stem that we eat as well. I forgot to mention this about the leaves. Other leaves that we eat would be lettuce, cabbage, basil. Those are all leaves that we eat too. So a stem that we eat would be celery. Also, asparagus is another stem that we eat. Okay, and the last one is the roots. So a root that we eat is carrots. A carrot grows underground. It is actually a root, and that is the part of the plant that we eat. Another root that we eat is sweet potatoes, turnips, beets, radishes, and regular potatoes. These are all types of roots. So now on your own, I want you to go through your refrigerator at home, and I want you to see if you can find something to match each one of these categories in your fridge that you guys eat at home. So I want you to find a flower that you eat, a seed that you eat, a leaf that you eat, a stem that you eat, and a root that you eat. And I would like you to take pictures of that, write them down, something like that, and then maybe create a whole flower creation. So maybe make a salad using all of those things together. And it's like you're eating a whole plant, all in one thing. So really quick, Mrs. Hooker wanted to, since I had the celery out, I thought it was a good opportunity to show you a recipe. I know it's not Food Friday, but any chance we get to learn something fun and new, it's a good time. So this celery kind of looks like a log, which is another type of stem, which celery is a stem. And so there's a recipe that I loved as a kid, and it's called ants on a log, and it's super simple, and you don't need anything to make it, any microwave or stove or anything like that. So you want to break apart the celery into smaller pieces, and you want to take off the leaf first. Another important thing to know about vegetables is you need to wash them. Now Mrs. Hooker already washed my vegetables before I brought them in here. You can buy vegetable wash, or you can rinse them off with hot water and just really like scrub them and make sure they're clean, because germs can get on vegetables. Other people at the store touch them and things like that. They also do come from the dirt, so we need to make sure we clean them. So once you've broke off the bottom and the top of the celery, we're going to put peanut butter in the middle. And so you'll just need a butter knife and some peanut butter. Okay, and then you just smooth the peanut butter through the middle of your celery or your log. So you're filling up the celery with peanut butter. So it looks like this. And then how you get your ants on a log, because remember that's what Mrs. Hooker told you this was called, is with these guys, raisins. So you're gonna get some raisins out, and I'm telling you this because I have found a lot of my students don't know this. Raisins, the reason why there's pictures of grapes on the container of raisins is because raisins are grapes. They're dried grapes. So this is also a healthy snack. So we put the raisins on top of our peanut butter, just like this. And we get ants on a log. so that's the recipe that I wanted to share with you too, since we had our celery out today. And then what I always did is I just took a butter knife and I cut mine into smaller little chunks. Or you could even break it. So it looks like this. Alrighty, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry it wasn't longer today. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be feeling better and we'll do a whole lesson. Just remember to be reading 20 minutes a night or a day with your family. That could be reading with your brother or sister, reading with your mom and dad. But 20 minutes a day is what I tell all my students that they need to be reading to help improve your reading. And if you do the writing prompt, that'll help you with writing today. And math, we are going to be switching to a different subject. We'll talk about that more tomorrow, but if you want to keep measuring and working on that, today you could. So, all right, have a good rest of your day. Bye.